Around 2.5 million years ago in eastern Africa, a group of hairy bipedal apes emerged. They eventually started using basic stone tools, unknowingly becoming the first species of a new genus called Homo Habilis, meaning handyman. These apes, our earliest human ancestors, lived in social colonies across the plains and savannas of eastern and southern Africa for almost a million years. Surviving in the wild and perilous prehistoric African plains was tough for them. Despite the challenges, Homo habilis endured, and a group eventually separated from the species, taking a step closer to our present-day existence. In this video, we'll explore the lives, evolution, physical characteristics, habitats, and ultimate demise of these early apes. Join us as we delve into the world of Homo habilis, the very first human species. If a Homo habilis individual from 2.5 million years ago were brought to the present and dressed in a suit, they would attract attention. Homo habilis was the first step in human evolution and preceded Homo sapiens, Homo neanderthalensis, and Homo denisova, the three species that lived during the late Pleistocene Ice Age. Homo habilis lived earlier in Africa's plains and savannas. Adult males could reach a height of about 5 feet, taller than modern humans. They were likely hairy, resembling the classic ape form more than modern humans. There were shared facial characteristics between Homo habilis and the previous genus, Australopithecus. Their long arms were still adapted for climbing and escaping danger in trees. Although they ventured into grasslands, they faced various threats from wild animals and often needed to retreat to the trees. Homo habilis primarily walked upright and could run for extended periods. Their legs were longer than previous ape species, and they likely traveled long distances across African savannas in search of food and territory. The distinctive facial features of Homo habilis would make them stand out in a modern crowd. Their cranial capacity was less than half of modern humans, resulting in a narrow forehead, higher set eyes, and a smaller, more ape-like back of the skull. They had a flatter noses with large, forward-facing nostrils and a more protruding mouth, revealing their ape ancestry. Homo habilis was a unique species, but its evolutionary journey was challenging. Their ancestors likely faced even greater difficulties. Homo habilis, the first species in the genus Homo, evolved from a bipedal ape called Australopithecus. Australopithecus had black features like Homo habilis, particularly in the face, and had a hairier and more protruding mouth. It had a smaller brain case and was adapted to tree dwelling. Australopithecus was the first ape to walk upright for extended periods, gradually transitioning to a ground-dwelling lifestyle as it evolved into Homo habilis. Possible candidates for the Australopithecus species that led to Homo habilis are Australopithecus afarensis and Australopithecus sebdeba, which disappeared around 3 million years ago. The exact timing of the transition from Australopithecus to Homo habilis is difficult to determine. Before the discovery of Homo habilis in 1964, it was believed that Homo erectus was the next species in line. The discovery of Homo habilis provided another important piece of the puzzle. The factors that caused one of the Australopithecus species to evolve into Homo habilis have been debated. It could be related to changes in food sources or the environment. It's possible that the decline in tree availability led to a shift from arboreal to terrestrial adaptation. Some species may have adapted to different diets. Early upright apes had omnivorous diets adapted for both plant matter and meat. Homo habilis, a species discovered in 1964, was initially found in the Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. Fossils, including teeth and skeletons, revealed a striking resemblance to modern humans. The Olduvai Gorge continued to yield fossils of Homo habilis, leading to a better understanding of their anatomy and their interaction with the Pleistocene environment. Homo habilis had the ability to grip objects with precision due to developments in the brain, enabling them to create basic stone tools. Although capable of walking upright, their proportions suggested they were still adept in tree dwelling. Their jaw and skull shape indicated a closer relationship to Australopithecus than previously believed. The teeth of Homo habilis showed similarities to ours, except for longer, sharper incisors akin to chimpanzees or gorillas. Notably, their brain case expanded, resulting in a more rounded skull. With a brain comprising 1.7% of their body weight, Homo habilis was more advanced than Australopithecine apes, but still primitive compared to later species. Homo habilis was associated with the Oldovan stone tool industry, characterized by simple tools used for butchering animals. These tools were made by striking stones together, resulting in sharp edges. The Oldowan tools were named after the Olduvai Gorge, a significant site for Homo habilis remains. Mary Leakey, a British paleoanthropologist, discovered and named the area. Stone tools found at the gorge indicate that early humans Homo habilis possessed intelligence and purpose when using these tools. The Aldoan tools were more advanced than those made by Australopithecines. Homo habilis knew how to strike stones together to create sharp points, demonstrating their higher intelligence. They were the most intelligent creatures at the time. This marked a significant turning point for both the animal kingdom and the world. However, the construction of Aldoan tools did not involve much creative design. Homo habilis did not possess the ability to create anything more advanced than a protobiface, a primitive form of a knife. As a result, it is unlikely that Homo habilis were hunters. Although their body and teeth structure suggests they supplemented their vegetarian diet with meat, they lacked the means to bring down larger prey. They likely relied on scavenging from carcasses left by other predators such as vultures. Nevertheless, the existence of these tools suggests that Homo habilis had some understanding of basic mechanics. It is intriguing to imagine these early humans cautiously following big cats after they had finished eating a fallen antelope, armed with their stone-cutting tools and communicating with rudimentary vocal sounds. These vocalizations would eventually evolve into the complex human speech we have today. In 1962, a peculiar circle of volcanic stones was discovered in the Olduvai Gorge, predating the Homo habilis discovery. These man-made stones, arranged in a pattern over 4 meters long and 3 meters wide, were likely used by early hominids to create primitive shelters or windbreaks. This structure, associated with Homo habilis due to its age and location, represents the oldest known form of architecture and laid the foundation for modern structures. Homo habilis also exhibited potential monogamous behavior, possibly being the first human species to do so. They lived in communal groups reminiscent of baboons, with multiple males and females. The males would defend the group by intimidating rivals or predators through arm raising, stone throwing, and vocalization. If threatened, Homo habilis would retreat to trees for safety, utilizing their elongated arms to reach branches. The early Pleistocene savannas of Africa, similar to present-day Tanzanian grasslands, provided the habitat for Homo habilis. The landscape featured vast plains covered in tall, yellowish-green grass, sporadically interrupted by trees, rocks, and rivers. Over time, Homo habilis adapted to the plains, with growing brains, bipedal locomotion, and a shift in food sources. However, they were not the sole inhabitants of this changing environment. Homo habilis coexisted with 4 other hominid species, including 3 Homo species, in Tanzania's savannas. This was not the only occurrence of such coexistence in prehistory. Homo ergaster, Homo erectus, and Homo rudolfensis shared the same time period as habilis. These species will be discussed in more detail later. Ergaster and erectus in particular succeeded habilis on the plains, and are closely related to humans. Another species habilis encountered was Paranthropus boisei, which bears a striking resemblance to Australopithecus, sometimes referred to as Australopithecus boisei due to their similarities. These creatures likely inhabited wooded wetlands or forests near the savanna fringes. Given their shared characteristics with habilis, it is plausible that groups of Paranthropus boisei encountered Homo habilis near their territories. It remains uncertain how they perceived each other. Did they recognize their familial connection or simply acknowledge one another and retreat into the woods? This is a question that may forever remain unanswered. Homo habilis relies on scavenging meat from the corpses of antelopes, horses, and other large animals on the plains of Tanzania. They also possibly consumed turtles, fish, small rodents, and birds' eggs. Despite being the first hominids to inhabit the grasslands, Homo habilis faced dangers from predators such as leopards, saber-toothed cats, and hunting hyenas. Crocodiles posed a threat when they needed to drink from rivers or lakes. These risks, along with other factors, likely contributed to the decline of Homo habilis during the Pleistocene. One theory suggests that multiple factors led to their downfall, proposed by Dr. Pascal Raya from the University di Napoli Federico II in Italy. In a study published in the Journal of One Earth in 2020, Raya and colleagues used an advanced climate emulator to examine the Pliocene and Pleistocene epochs. They found that later Homo species faced challenges as their climatic niches disappeared due to rapid climate changes, leading to the loss of their food sources. Homo habilis, coexisting with 3 other Homo species, may have been outcompeted by more intelligent Homo ergaster and Homo erectus, better adapted to the Tanzanian plains. Despite the uncertainties surrounding the fate of Homo habilis populations, their legacy continued as they laid the foundations for future Homo species. The name handyman reflects their significance in the evolutionary story, being the most intelligent creatures of their time. The idea of a creature altering its environment to such a degree was unprecedented, until Homo habilis potentially built primitive stone shelters in the Altavai Gorge over a million years ago. This discovery revolutionizes our understanding of these early beings, their lifestyle, and their cognitive abilities. While the evolution of Homo sapiens is still far ahead, it's crucial to recognize the importance of Homo habilis as the pioneers of mechanics and technology. We owe much of our present-day advancements to these early hominids.